Yo. This is the Outspoken Podcast.
Remember how we said we'll be having Debbie on today's podcast? Guess what? She is in the studio with us and we'll be learning directly from her. Who is Debbie? So Deborah Akande is a 500 level student in the Federal University of Technology studying food science and technology. She has a passion for it because I don't know why you would come to school to study food science and technology. But yeah, though, that's one thing that makes her worthy coming here and speaking to us and we learning from her. So let's get into today's podcast. Welcome, Debbie.
Thank you, Chris.
So I gave a short introduction about you before we started. I would like you to also introduce yourself. Let's see if I introduce her properly.
My name is Deborah Akande.
I still Code I had. Her name is Deborah Akande. That's what she's saying.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a polo lady and a lover of health. Yeah.
You're a lover of health. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you helped us with contents for about 10 episodes, back to back. And beyond the research and the knowledge that you have, I'm sure that there is a part of passion in it. What better the need to seek and find, did I just say seek and find? To delve into health. What's better than passion in you?
Okay, thank you for the question. So it all started while I was young, like very much young. Then I should be around age 12. I think
Age 12.
Yes,
Okay.
probably in GS1 thereabouts or GS2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm in junior secondary school too now.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just discovered that we get to buy some drugs.
Yeah.
And this drug, we don't really see any change. Like, it's not effective.
Sure.
I was wondering what happened. And growing up in a middle class family now, so we get to probably get to spend all we have on drugs just to stay healthy and be better.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the drugs
still
are not
doesn't work.
working. There isn't anything. I was like, Mommy, I'm still feeling the headache. She was like, I want to just sleep it to go. It's called that sometimes when I sleep, it's usually. So I was like, oh wow. So that means there are some things I can engage in that will make all these things just go on their own.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow. So we people, those people at the grassroots now, we the ones to suffer the inadequacies of the government, especially in the health sector. Because I was wondering how we have borders, we have people in authorities, we have NAFDAC, we have SON, and all those organizations. What are they doing?
Fake drugs.
Why do we have fake drugs in our country? I was like, so that means something is missing
Somewhere.
So since then I was like, oh, so if there's alternative to this, that means we can go for it. And it's what that is far way cheaper. If just we can control or regulate what we eat, we can stay healthy for a very long period of time.
Yeah.
So this fuel my passion for health, and since then I've been trying to see what can I do, how can I get to tell people more about health, about nutrition,
About eating right.
Now, yes, so that we can stay healthy, so they won't fall victims of fake drugs. We have those people in authority, they can actually afford it, and that's why I love the system. Why they came up with a program now, let's just say kind of system now.
Yeah.
Why when you go to a drugstore, your pharmacy, they have some codes written on the drugs that you can easily scratch, die the code, or call it to verify the authentication of the drug. And I think this quite makes things a lot easier for us.
Yeah, and then more reliable.
Yes.
Okay. So you said you realized that while sleeping, you just wake up and the headache is gone. I think it also happens to quite a number of us that we just have headache and we just rest and it goes. So that means most of the sickness, like you said how everything can be controlled if we just find, and they are way cheaper in the sense that we can also as well just get alternatives of drugs by eating, or rather stay healthy by just eating food instead of having to now fall sick and then start buying drugs?
For example, now, what would talk about sleeping now? It didn't cost you anything to sleep.
No.
You get far. If you're getting a sachet of paracetamol,
Yeah.
I think now it's actually around 150 or 200 naira.
Yes.
And that can get you some other things.
The 200 naira, I used to buy one bag of water.
Exactly, it's far way cheaper.
Compared to
getting a drug. And doesn't really have any effect on you.
Yeah.
You get, because at the end of the day, we discovered even your paracetamol has some effects.
Some side effects.
Side effects even on your liver or part of your body.
Really?
Yeah, so you shouldn't even take
too much
paracetamol.
of it.
In fact, at the hospital, they will tell you that you should not consume, especially when you're taking anti-malaria drug.
Yeah.
You shouldn't exceed a tablet, which is 12. You shouldn't exceed it, yes.
Like the whole pack?
Yeah, you shouldn't exceed a whole pack at a time. So if you're taking, you shouldn't take more than a whole pack. I think for a month or thereabouts.
Wow.
So you shouldn't take more than a whole
I think
pack.
a lot of people have to hear this because I know people who use paracetamol almost every day.
You shouldn't be, yeah. Causing effort to your body, shouldn't be. Why not go for tannins? Why not try and rest? It could be stress. You could just sleep, rest, take a shower, drink water. By the time you wake up, trust me, your body's cool and ready to go again. Yeah, yes, I even remember then while I was in SS1 now.
Yeah.
I wrote an essay concerning this and I got a scholarship. Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yeah, that scholarship, sustained me throughout my secondary school. Okay. My senior secondary school. So I was able to do big kind of that was on the lighter mode, but I got a scholarship.
What was the essay about?
It was about, I wrote about health. Seriously. I just wrote about nutrition, I wrote about health, I wrote about fake drugs. What was happening? And those people got fascinated. I think that should be Selfless Africa. Yes,
that's the name of
the organization now when they came out.
Selfless Africa. I hope when you see her, I hope you can see what she's doing now. She's doing great things.
So thank you for the opportunity. Then I'm so grateful.
So majority of all the episodes that we have, like 60% was basically on food. Like
yes, I believe that if you could get it right at that stage, then every other thing will far way be more easier for you. Because no wonder the basic needs of man, food was the first thing.
Yeah.
So it all starts with food. It all starts with what you eat.
Yeah.
So even if you eat well, there will be, you will still need to exercise, but to be lesser. Do you get?
Yeah.
And even how to balance what you eat with your work, then there will be less stress. You get? So all these things we can balance everything. So that's the reason why we didn't really talk about these kind of diseases per se. Like we're talking about health maintenance.
Yeah.
Do you guys can say how you can avoid getting sick or obesity, cardiovascular diseases, high blood pressure, and all. So if you can get it right with what you eat, all these things can be avoided.
Yeah.
So as even if we check our forefathers, they don't really need health. Even this history of diabetics, ulcer, obesity, it's not common with them.
Compared to
yes, and even the lifespan also, they have a kind of a longer lifespan compared to us. Yeah. So we can check and model what they did.
Yeah.
It will really help us.
Yeah.
So I discovered that it's actually their way of living, what their eating pattern. They eat right, they get access to fresh fruits and veggies. It's readily available to them here. So if we can also get it right what we eat, we will have to talk less about all these other things you may be interested in. So if you could get it right with the way what you eat, then all of that things will follow. You don't have to think about it. You get? Thank you.
Okay, so oftentimes we are told not to eat late at night. I don't know why. Can you expatiate on it?
Oh, okay. First, if you eat late at night, you get to, most time we get to sleep immediately after eating.
Yeah.
Which is actually not good for your body.
Okay.
You should at least stay up for 30 minutes before you
going to bed.
Yes. And also that's why when you wake up in the middle of the night, the first thing to take is beverage. And I'm talking about bread, I mean any liquid food. And take your cocoa products like tea, just take them, or your juice. Just take and go back to bed instead of that time you're not trying to pound the yam in the middle of the night. It should not to be. You can just take something light. You can take your cereal now, maybe or anything you have at hand. Just take them and go back to bed. Yeah. So this will really helpful. So you don't have to give your body a whole lot of work to do while trying to put things in balance. That's why most of the time when you wake up in the morning you feel fresh. Because a whole lot of activities happens while you sleep. So you're now trying to add to the work your brain ought to do during the night. It's kind of stressful. You get, and also it can lead to constipation. Whole other things can happen in the course of you eating. And also some of this food, they won't get digested, or some of them are just being stored up because they're not using them. As they are just stored up and excess fat in the body, which can lead to so many diseases. It can lead to so many things. So it's better just eat your beverages and go back to bed. And also you should avoid eating heavy meals at night because there's already a whole lot of work you want to do. So in as much during the day you can take your heavy meal because you move around, you have some works to do. But late at night, at night now in the evening, you don't have much work to do. So just take something light and just rest for the day. Okay, so for someone who works remotely now, would you advise they eat heavy food? Because they're just working, they're working literally seated in one place from morning to night. So would you advise to take heavy food, or they should still stick to beverages? Okay, so for a person working remotely, at first you should check the work you are doing. How much energy do you need for that which you want to do? So that way you won't get to load your body more than what is needed. You get, so if you discover that you get to sit at your table right in the comfort of your home for like 6 hours, so just sitting there and take something light. And I take something light at the right quantity. No food should be avoided. You can take anything you want to eat, but take the right quantity that will commensurate to the work you want to do. So that way you don't have to get your body loaded with excess. And this excess can be stored in our liver, and before you know, start having weight because of excess food being stored up in the body. So as much as possible, try to make sure that what you are eating is commensurating to the work you want to do. Yes. So this is how. Because we need to burn the energy in our body needs to be burnt or needs to be used, or else when they are not used, they change back to carbohydrates. They change to sugar. Yes. And the body leaves them there. Yes. So that's it. So before you know, you start adding weight. Just to get to add it because they are stored up in the liver, around your stomach region. As before you know, your stomach starts protruding. To get to add more weight. Sure you get. So that's. There was a time myself and I was seeing you off, and then we saw a truck loaded with a basket of tomato, and you got really angry, and you were talking about how that's not how the tomato should be treated, blah blah blah. It's not. You said a number of things I can't remember. Can you like tell me why you were really angry at tomatoes being stored in baskets and being stacked upon each other? Okay, thank you for the question. I personally hate wastage, or especially when it's within your control. Okay. You get, for example, those tomatoes can be packaged in crates that will have instead of baskets. Yes, in baskets. When you're talking baskets, now not necessarily all those olden baskets, all these woven baskets, made with bamboos and all. But you can have something like all these plastic baskets, which they're not environmentally friendly, but since they are reusable, you can still at least use that for now. So packaging them will cause less damage to the tomatoes, because these tomatoes, which is a fruit, is a living structure, is a living thing. And they continue to respire and transpire even after harvesting. So while they're inside the basket, they still undergo some processes. Still inside the basket? Still inside. Okay. That's where we can have. That's why they could deteriorate. That's why they could change form. So, for example, assuming they are not living, you still when you harvest it, they will remain the same. But even all our foods. That's why you see your yam after a while got spoiled. Oh wow! Your carrots, before you know, living things, living structures. They are all living structures. Before you know, your carrots get softer. Before you know, your vegetables, the green leaves start turning yellow. Because some activities are ongoing with them also. Wow. There we get. So, I never thought of my food as a living thing, but continue. So, when they are stuck that way, they get to be damaged. You can have a lot of impact. They can be bruised. Do you get? This will increase the rate as if they deteriorate. Okay. Do you get? So their cells, the structures can be injured. Do you get? And before you know, you see the leakage of the water or the liquid contents of the tomatoes will start coming out. And before you know, this will give access to microorganisms. So for example, our body now, if you have a wound, and you expose it, you didn't take care of it, before you know it starts swelling, all other things can just come in.
So
you get no seeds, they cover it with a wool or something, it gets treated.
Okay.
Do we get? But if you have it all like this, it will stay, you keep
like
going.
That, sure.
So same thing for our fruits and vegetables, they have to be treated with care.
Wow.
If they are doing so much for us, we also should do so much for them.
But we are eating them now.
Yes, we have, but yes, we have. No, this one will minimize wastage. So if you keep your tomatoes, that's why you can have access to fresh tomatoes. Because if you keep them whole, right in your kitchen, you get to have access to it at any time. But when they are stacked up that way, they speed up their reactions and they get spoiled easily. And since these are within our control, these tomatoes can be stored in wooden baskets or wooden crates, and they can be placed or arranged properly. So this reduces the amount of damage caused to them. Because by the time these tomatoes get injured and they get to market, microorganisms are penetrated. They start having this kind of whitish stain on them. Before you know, they start smelling. Before you know, people won't get to buy them. So as much as possible, we should avoid damage that is within control to our fruits and vegetables. And also, one thing we can do is to due to the nature of the country we find ourselves, we can also be considerate enough. If you get to the market and see these tomatoes, but make sure that they are still fresh.
Okay.
It doesn't have all these white molds on them yet.
When we see the white molds,
they should be avoided.
Once they have the white molds.
Once they have the white molds, they should be avoided.
Once they have the white mold, they should be avoided. Don't say because you used your money, then you eat it. Please don't. That's what she's saying now.
Yeah,
please go on.
Microorganisms have infiltrated them.
Okay.
And some of them, you can never tell the kind of microorganisms they have, whether they are spore forming, whether they are not spore forming, whether they are pathogenic. Since we don't have equipment, pass, you cannot say because you bought the tomato and I was going to check, look by microscope, and you want to check. Even if you check, how can you identify the type of microorganisms? There's some tests that needs to be carried out on them. Right. But when the tomatoes are just kind of still soft, I mean, they're not like hard like you want. That when you slice it, you should be able to. Okay. But this one, by the time you put your knife, it's already shrinking.
Sure.
You get. If you are using it immediately, you can just get those ones.
The soft ones?
Yes, the soft one now.
The soft but fresh ones?
The soft but fresh. They are not being infiltrated now. You can just get them and use it immediately. But just ensure that you boil them. You just ensure you boil very well to kill any available microbes in them. Then use it immediately. When it's just the one you want to stop a very longer period of time, please get the hard fresh ones. And still hard. Yes, then get those ones.
Okay, so now that we're talking about tomato, my mind went to onions. About how, when we use half onions and we place it in our bathroom, in our kitchen, and we want to use it the next time, and there's a way it already looks when it gets soft.
Yes.
Somehow.
Yes.
And it begins to look wrinkled or something like that. Yeah. I actually heard that when you leave onion open for a while, that it absorbs the negative or bad nutrients, bad
microbes in the hair. Yes.
So that's true.
Yes, it is. That's as much as possible after you cut. It's like a whole onion now that you're not cut into two.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about tomatoes the other time. Damage has been done to the tomato that way. So now you get them exposed to microorganisms.
Okay.
Because you leave them in the kitchen on the table.
Yeah.
The hair, microbes are in the hair. These things get to settle down on the onions rather, and they get to just absorb the content of the onions. Some reactions will take place. So that's why we advise that you get an onion that you can use at the time that you can. But if you can't, it happens that you get big onions that you can't finish at the time.
Yeah.
Have something like a transparent cellophane nylon.
Okay.
That you can
like a Ziploc.
Yes, Ziploc. That you can just wrap the onions.
Inside.
Yes, and just place it on your shelf. Or advisably, you can put it in a transparent container and put it in your fridge or refrigerator if you have access to one.
Okay.
But if you don't, now like your students, just get the onions wrapped in a transparent cellophane nylon and place on your kitchen. But ensure that you use as soon as possible.
Okay, there are people that actually cut their onion and store inside the fridge. Is that healthy? Like they slice it down in large quantity and just save in their kitchen. So when they want to use, they bring it out of the fridge, then make it defrost. When it's defrost, then now fry it or use it to cook. Is that healthy?
Yes, it isn't as much is not left at room temperature where damage can be caused. Because at that refrigeration temperature, for example, the microorganisms can't work. That's why they are still old by the time you brought it outside. So if for convenience you can do that, but ensure that it's being refrigerated and kept at temperature that microorganisms won't be able to act on them. Yes.
So it's actually the same for almost all our foods. All our foods are living organisms. I have never thought of my food as, I'm serious, because now it's beginning to make sense why my yam would turn black. Why my rice, when kept for a very long time, I begin to see those white things.
Molds, and then it gets spoiled.
Wow, it's making me feel like I'm eating a living being.
That's how we say living structure, not living being as you, but they are living.
You know, with all the knowledge that you have, and understanding, how are you able to look at a tomato and not hear the tomato say, "Don't eat me"?
That's what I'm passionate about when I see tomatoes. Also, that's the reason why when I see them not being packaged or not being
properly,
I got moved. Why will you do this to the tomatoes?
They deserve better.
They deserve better. At the end of the day, we are the one that will be at effects of
the damage
done to them. Sure, you get. And by the time you get to waste more, it affects. That's a negative impact on our planet. Do we get? So that's how I move for them. If they are serving me, I should be able to, as much as possible,
treat them right.
Treat them well and treat them right. So should be able to balance it.
Okay, so I'm thinking about how we can take drinks that are healthy without necessarily taking carbonated drinks. So what kind of drinks would you advise that we take? I remember there was a day you combined different things and blended it.
Okay, different fruits.
Yes, then you blended it. And why can't you just walk into a supermarket now and just get a juice from there and drink? Are they still healthy, or is better we just freshly produce the ones that we can?
As much as possible, you should try to take freshly produced fruit trees made yourself. Okay, that's the difference between a fruit trees and a fruit drink. Most of the time.
What's the difference? Sorry.
Okay, the difference between a fruit juice and a fruit juice is the juice extracted from the fruit without any addition or subtraction to the contents. Like you didn't add anything to it and you didn't remove anything from it. That's why you have your watermelon. You blend it as it is like that. The whole is called a fruit juice. That's a juice. When you're talking about a fruit drink, it has been modified. Do you get? So that how will you have, if for example a watermelon juice had a stop? Because if you blend your watermelon, aside that, if you blend your watermelon now and you pour it in a cup, leave it for like 2 to 3 hours. By the time you come back, it's already getting spoiled.
Okay, you start having foam?
No, not even foam now. Before you know, the taste will change. Before you know, it starts separating.
Okay.
Then you get some activities will go on. Even especially orange, getting sour like that.
Yeah.
But how come we have it in our
preserved?
There are some activities that have been done on them. The content has to be modified to reduce the activities of the microbes on it, so they have undergo processing. So that's why you have your preservatives have to be added to it. So what you get in the store is a fruit drink, not a fruit trees. You get it's a fruit drink, and these are not really advisable because most of them you will check. For example, the next time you go to a supermarket, check the contents. Because if you get a food that is healthy and full of nutritious, full of nutrients now, should have a lesser amount of ingredients.
Amount of ingredients.
That's why you get your processed food now. You see list of ingredients, and sometimes you don't have. There are some things I cannot even pronounce. Like what's this? You get all these are added to it to preserve the quality now. We keep it for a very long period of time. Which is actually not bad. This is food preservation now. But if you have access to the one you can rightly produce yourself,
then just go for that.
And they just go for it. It's quite full of nutrients, and it's far more easier and safer for you. Do you get? So and that way you don't really have a list of nutrients, a list of ingredients rather. And so I just blend my juice. The last time that I blended different kind of fruit together, right? So you have to start saying this and this was what was added to it. Do you get? Yeah. So the lesser the list of ingredients on your produce, on the food produce, the better for you.
Okay. So I'm thinking about energy drinks now. Okay. Are energy drinks healthy?
That is a big question. And like I said earlier, no food should be avoided. It's just the quantity taken.
Should be moderate.
Do you get? So even if you take energy drink, what's first? Why do you want to take it? Or you don't want to sleep? At that point in time, you are overstressing yourself. Okay. There's a point in time that you just need maybe an hour break and just take a rest or a nap now. And by the time you wake up, you discover that you are really energized and you are good to go. Okay, so as much as possible, just try and see. But if there are other alternatives, especially to all these carbonated drinks, first, one thing I don't like about carbonated drink is the fact that the contents, you have them in plastic bottles which are not degradable. They are not biodegradable. So before you know, you get to see all our water bodies full of plastic, because most of them are not recyclable, and when they are not safe to be used in food processes. Do you get?
No, I don't.
Like now, for a plastic container now, most of the time when they are recycled, they are not safe to be used again for food processes.
Okay.
Do you get that? That's why you cannot really. That's why we don't. I think based on the country we have, actually, that's why you can't return your plastic bottles after you're done with your Coke. So with your carbonated drinks now, you can. But one thing we can do now is, even when you want to get it, I did something 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was working and I needed just something of energy drink now per se, and I just wanted the carbonated drinks. I did take once in a while. I mean once in a blue moon. One of my friends was like, "Oh wow, maybe you took this." I said, "Yes, I did." So what did I do? I took a bottle. I have a plastic bottle in my house. So I took one and I was walking around the streets looking for the one inside all these glass bottles. Before we were using glass bottles, and this one you can easily return it. You get to wash them, do some cleaning, feed them again, then bring them. But now our plastic just you buy them at extra cost. So I was walking down the street. I searched, I was like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I was on my street. I was asking them, I want a bottle of Coke that's inside a glass bottle. I could not get. Like I was just, I was so persistent that I must, if I didn't get one, despite the fact that I needed it, I'm not going to buy the one inside a plastic bottle. Or successfully after like 25 minutes, I was able to get one. Okay. When I got there, the man was like, "This is it," and I was able to open it and pour it inside my own plastic container. Because most of these containers are reusable. Just because based on what you want to use it for now. Do you get? So I discovered that it was 15 naira cheaper.
Plastic.
And then you may be thinking about 15 naira, but it's something. Do you get? In as much, it's not going to cause any damage to my environment. I'm glad with that. That's cool with me. It even saves me 15 naira. It saves me some money. Do you get? So this is really helpful for us. So if you're taking a carbonated drink, take it in moderation. Don't be taking carbonated drink every blessed day. It's not good. And one thing we see down is advertisements. You see the way they are packaged. Because the least you can get now is 35 cl. Do you get? And we have ours up to, I think 1 liter or 1.5 liter now. Inside big bottle, there's 1 liter. Imagine. So this is called advertising strategy, marketing strategy. Now they want you to buy more, whereas you have to take less. Do you get? So as much as possible, you'll be conscious of your health. So you don't have to take, these things are not really good for you. So if you need to take them, take it at a small quantity and buy just one. Take it like 3 to 4 times. Keep it refrigerated. If you get,
so you buy one small Coke or 1 small liter or 1 liter.
Like me, you can get a small one. Let me like
the small one.
Yes.
Now you should take 3 times.
Even if you take it at once, like if you are taking the next time you should take another one, should be probably maybe in 2 weeks time or a week after. You shouldn't get to take if they are doing causing. I already said earlier that no food should be avoided. So let's just take it in moderation. So take your carbonated drink moderately. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie, so much. I think that's pretty much all. Those are my questions for today. Do you have any other thing that you would like to tell us before you go?
Okay. I think my last word to us is that what we eat matters a lot. But of course, as I am now, I'm a reflection of what I've eaten in years. So also you. So me looking at you now, I can you're just a reflection on what you have eaten so far. So if you're obese, if you're diabetics, which not trying to be sarcastic now. You get so your stature. Let me just say your stature and your current state of health is dependent on what you are eating, what you are eating. But if what you will eat now can be modified, things can still be balanced. So don't give up yet. So what we eat matters a lot. What we eat matters a lot, and no food should be avoided. In as much we can get to balance things. Yes, eat the right food, the right quantity, and at the right time. And trust me, you may not need to get to see a doctor in months. No, I'm not saying not for checkup now, but I mean for treatment of illness or that. As much as possible, even when you're feeling okay, there's need for you to go for a checkup intermediately, for every once in 3 months. But trust me, what you eat really, really matters. So since what you're eating, or since what you eat now is within your control, I can choose what you eat. Yeah. So we advise you to choose right. Choose right, and trust me, it will reflect your health, it will reflect on your body, and perfectly okay.
Thank you so much, Debbie.
Thank you.
That's all for today, guys. Have a wonderful week. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Outspoken Podcast.